Welcome, join us as we explore the mystical insights of the Blood Moon Oracle, revealing profound guidance for your journey ahead. Thank you for watching.
Hello, welcome. Good evening. I hope you guys are well today, the night before Thanksgiving. It's just another day for me. Every day is Thanksgiving for me. Every day I find reasons to be thankful and to show gratitude and just, you know, find simple things to expand on. And so it's just another day for me. And so tonight, because I don't work tomorrow, I'm going to be up late doing some fun stuff that I love to do that I don't necessarily get to do when I have to be up early. And so we're going to take a look at some tarot tonight and see what the energy is right now spiritually when it comes to where we are on our journey, on our paths, and just going to see what Spirit has to say for us. I am using a couple of different tarot decks here tonight that I did shuffle in advance just for the sake of time and not wanting to cause a lot of that bumpy noise in the microphone. And so I hope you guys are well. Blood Moon Oracle is the channel. Right down here, you see it, Blood Moon Oracle. And my name is Leticia, right? Not Letitia. It's Leticia. I like the emphasis on the T and the C, right? Leticia. Okay. And so let's take a look here and see like the energies that Spirit is bringing out for you tonight. Take it as it resonates. I always like to say to check in with your spirit guides to see if this is aligning with you, if this is your message. If not, don't feel like you got to make it resonate, right? If it does, it does. You won't even have to even second guess it. It's just going to resonate with you. You're going to know it's for you. And if it doesn't, just leave it, right? And so let's take a look and see. I'm using my Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck. Not Oracle, it's my Wisdom Tarot deck. And then my Easiest Tarot deck as well. These are the two decks that we're using. And so let's get started. Yeah. So Spirit, let's find out where we are right now. For who's watching, who's going to stop by and listen to this reading, where are we right now? And then we'll ask, where are we going? Where are we headed? Okay. So we have the Three of Wands, the Hierophant. I only planned to pull out 2 cards, but 3 came out, so I'm going to take it. And the Queen of Swords. And then from the second deck, we're going to ask where we're going. This is where we are right now. Then we're going to tap into where it is that we're going, okay? Somebody's moving. Somebody's shaking and baking. Where are we going? Okay. And I did see one that turned over. So we have the Three of Wands that came out twice. Okay. So for where we're going, we have the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. So let's take a look and see where we are right now. And first we have the Three of Wands coming in. And let me say that these cards are so beautiful. I hate that when I'm on my laptop, it doesn't do justice to the color when I have very beautiful, elaborate decks. But this one is just, it's almost like a golden, sparkly color. And the Three of Wands, first of all, is all about expansion. So right where you are right now, you are expanding. There's something about your journey right now that you are focusing on cooperating with that vision, tapping into even luck in a sense of, I'm getting a sense of manifestation or magic. If you can look at the lights, it's almost like there's something happening here. She's making something happen. And it feels like there's a thrust of energetic energy being pushed into these 3 wands. Threes are all about creation and manifestation. She's very focused. on these three wands, very calmly focusing her energy through these wands, making something happen. And it doesn't feel emotional. It feels very calm, the energy around her. And as she's making something happen, it's almost like she's casting some type of command, or what we would call a spell, right? She's casting or giving some type of command to these three wands to make something happen. Between the three wands, right, there's the allowing of the light to lead the way, is what I'm feeling, to lead the way. And so there's something about her adjusting her internal thermostat while she's preparing for receiving what she wants. The Three of Wands is all about manifestation and creation, taking things into her own hands or his own hands and directing that emotional power forward. There's a harnessing of transformational energy as the mind is being powered without needing like any external validation. So right now where you are is a pretty cool place. You may be very much caught up in your own little world, in your own sea of creation that you're focused on right now. All about expanding, all about focusing on your journey and visualizing and cooperating as destiny is unfolding for you with the Three of Wands, and doing it very lovely too. The Three of Wands is all about creation and doing. Wands is doing, its action energy. Okay, that's where you are right now. I feel like you're very much caught up into taking things to the next level. And in doing that, because this is yellow, we're talking about the solar plexus chakra. If you are familiar with the chakras, this is all about you actually showing up in the world how you want to be seen, allowing yourself to show up in the beauty of who you are in the world, taking up space, right? And then we have the Hierophant showing where you are as well. It almost feels like you're tapping into a higher level of information. For me, it is a higher level of wisdom and knowledge when it comes to spiritual things. The Hierophant many times is talking about spiritual things. One second, I dropped it. And it is, to me, it reminds me of a ballroom. It doesn't have to be, but it's the indigo color. See that? It's an eye at the top, but it reminds me of a disco ball. It seems very glitzy or something that's very mystical. And when we look at the sixth chakra, this is the color of the third eye, the indigo. We're talking about, when we talk about the Hierophant, we're talking about spiritual things, right? We're talking about intuition with the third eye, clairvoyance, guidance with the Hierophant. Many times could be a leader. It could be being led by a teacher or a coach of some kind. Also rituals. Could talk about religion. Religious practices, some type of knowledge or counseling of some kind. And so this is talking about the six chakras, teaching of things that we may not necessarily outright see or understand, but it's coming into your realm of understanding. You're learning something right now. I feel like with the Hierophant showing up here, you're learning some new things or allowing yourself to be guided into a greater realm of understanding of how you're seeing things, your experiences, all of that. The Hierophant is also a Jupiterian energy, which can also say that you are in a space of fortune, like highly favored, or you're experiencing a lot of luck right now. And as we learned with the Three of Wands, expansion. Jupiter is all about expansion as well. And so when we talk about the sixth chakra and we connect it with Jupiter, we're talking about a time to trust and expand what we know or what we're being shown, or to enhance even things as it pertains to our spiritual integrity. Being open to things outside of what we already know, right? We know what we know. Now it's time to find out what it is that we don't know. That's what the Hierophant is talking about here. And so you could be learning new things. You could be experiencing new experiences, seeing things very differently. For some of you who are spiritual, you could be purposefully and intentionally tapping in to that intuitive energy that lies within all of us. And this is bringing up a saying for me that I love to say: when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So you could be being taught, or you could be being guided in some type of way, being coached. It brings in that kind of energy for me as well. And then next we have the Queen of Swords. With where you are right now, the Queen of Swords has that same sixth chakra energy. This is very intuitive energy. And the Queen of Swords is air energy. We're talking about the thoughts, focusing on the thoughts, the mind. And so with the Queen of Swords, this is saying that right now you could be, you could be actually in a very strong place when it comes to what it is that you are demanding. Because I'm looking at the Queen of Swords, how she's sitting on her throne, holding the sword very authentically, very authoritatively. She's surrounded by 3 dogs, which says that she has a lot of loyalty around her right now, around her authenticity. And that could be where you are right now. You're not alone, like she's not alone. And there's something about the ability and the desire, like to face anything difficult right now, any adversity. She has that sword in her hand and she's ready to cut through illusions and foolishness. So this could be like the energy that you're in right now. You're just not dealing with a lot of unnecessary stuff, right? You could be closing doors on stuff as soon as it shows up to be unworthy of your time and your energy. With the Queen of Swords, she's very prepared to protect what's hers. So you could be sitting in this energy right now, very much willing and open to set boundaries and limits and to express your ideas and say what it is that you need to say without holding your tongue. Very decisive as well. The swords are all about being very clear cut and forthright. Yeah. Being very integrous as well. The swords talk about integrity and sovereignty. It talks about things like ethics. Right. When we're talking about the swords, these are usually jobs and vocations that deal with the law. Like this could be someone who is very much studying law or very much entangled with dealing with it right now, or a writer, someone who is very knowledgeable, very educated. It's just sharp. It's sharp energy. So you could be dealing with just very decisive energy, knowing exactly what you want, right? And knowing exactly what you don't want, and seeing very clearly what things are, who people are all around you. Just very decisive and ready to do what's necessary to create what it is that's needed for the moment. And so this is where you are right now. This could be like the energy that you embody right now, right where you are. It could talk about things that you're focused on or pursuing right now. It's all about expansion, not just expansion, but doing it with intention, doing it with purpose. Let's find out where it is that you're going. So the first card that we pulled out for where you're headed right now is the 5 of Pentacles. And the 3 of Wands came out again, right? There's something about the 3 of Wands, something about expansion for you happening currently and even more as you move forward. But first we have the 5 of Wands. I'm sorry, not the 5 of Wands. This is the first we have the 5 of Pentacles, which talks about being in a spot of needing to, or having the opportunity to improve where you are, right? And by doing this, this would not be necessarily looking for things to pour out what you have, but this is actually taking a moment to really assess what you have so you don't lose. This is a moment to where you're headed. You're going to need to pay really close attention to your finances, to the energy that you're putting out, so that you're not losing or decreasing your value, the value of what you have, or the abundance of what you have. The Five of Pentacles is really an opportunity to take heed and be watchful that you don't miss certain opportunities that may come to improve your situation. It could be financial, it could be health-wise, right? It could be material. But there's something about the Five of Pentacles that's calling your attention to be very careful and to be watchful as well. You may, in fact, be heading to a time where there's going to be certain resources around you that you will need to pay attention to so that you can take advantage of them. In this picture, it feels like they are right in front of a resource, which could be like some type of church facility, but they are so stuck in the situation possibly that they may not see it. And so I feel like this is letting you know where you're going. There's going to be a plethora of opportunities and resources around you, but it's going to need for you to actually pay attention to your surroundings to be able to see it, not necessarily focusing so intently on your situation. There's a bit of care with the Five of Pentacles. There's a warning about materials and supplies and paying attention to your affairs and guarding against loss. Where you're going, there's going to be a need to be guarded with what you have, okay? And this could also say that this expansion that you're headed towards will need to be cared for and guarded and protected to avoid losing what you are gaining, or to avoid losing as you are gaining, right? The other card that I'm seeing is the Three of Wands. And in this card, we see a man facing towards the water. He's looking outwardly at a ship, and he has one of the wands in his hands. And it's almost like the other two are sitting behind his back, because it feels like there's things that you may have or you will come to have mastered. And this could be things that will be placed on the back burner as you actually find the type of thing that will help you to expand, to focus your energy on. It feels like you'll be pushing some things to the back so that you can focus on the expansion. There's something that will need your attention and your focus in order to create this expansion. Whatever you have learned or mastered already will be placed of less importance than what you're focusing on, or whatever's causing the opportunities to arrive for you to expand with the Three of Wands. It's all about progression and creating habits and patterns that are going to initiate this progression that's emerging here. I can't help but think of the Ace of Wands because he's holding so tightly to one of the wands. And this is all about manifesting from ideas, taking the very first steps towards that new idea, right? And the Three of Wands, again, is all about realizing what it is that you are visualizing and being successful as you do it, as you're moving ahead. This is all about progress and planning, keeping everything moving forward. It's action again and heading in the right direction. And so it feels like there's going to be a bit of expansion heading towards you here. That's what I'm feeling. Now, that may be for someone. I'm going to go ahead and grab some more cards and see what comes out, okay? What do you need to know about where you are right now? What is it that you need to know? What does my viewer need to know about where they are right now, Spirit? All right, we have the Death card coming out and the Seven of Pentacles. And with our other deck, we're going to ask, what advice does Spirit have for you with where you're going? And we have the Temperance that comes out and the Ace of Swords. This is in the advice. But first of all, what you need to know about where you are right now and where you're headed. First of all, see the Death, right? Which is all about change. And then I see the Seven of Pentacles as well, which is all about investments. And so with the Death, this is all about bringing in a level of clarity that's needed right now, where we are and where you're going as well. When we look at the death, we see her emerging as the shadow self is still in the shadow, right? It's almost like she's emerging um, in clarity. There's almost like this light that's illuminating around her head that's representing, I feel like it's representing clarity that she now has to move forward. And when we talk about the death, we're talking about it stepping out of maybe even a time of change, a time where you felt like you were in a cocoon and just kind of being formed and being prepared and being remade and changed. And this is about allowing old parts of yourself to be left behind, old resentments, allowing them to die and no longer giving them meaning in your life. They're no longer you, right? They get to stay back in the shadow. They don't get to come forward with you. And if you choose to, you can actually embody this enlightenment around the seventh, this enlightenment that's happening, that's actually bringing in this clarity and evolving you into this level of mastery. When we arrive here, this is a place where manifestation becomes really easy. And so this is all about living in a new place, no longer living in a place of heaviness. It's almost like being allowed to exist in your bliss, right? And so this is about leaving all the heaviness behind, and the uncertainty gets left behind, and we let go of, that sense of not knowing, the sense of vagueness, because there is such a clarity that's being offered to us. When we talk about the crown chakra, we're talking about the higher self, tapping into and knowing and being acquainted and trusting and operating in the higher self. And death is also about endings of old ways of being. It could talk about having certain illnesses that we're no longer dealing with anymore, but having a greater sense of understanding beyond what we know, beyond our sense of our immediate reality. This is like a universal understanding that we're stepping into, and even heading towards a sense of completion as well. The death is the dying of the old as we enter into the new. This is Saturn energy. And this is almost like the energy that we almost feel like can be a little bit turbulent. Change is always difficult, right? But Saturn comes to bring change. And sometimes it can feel a little bit shaky and unsure and a little bit scary. Imagine just taking off in the plane, that initial turbulence. And then after you start going for a little while, then it dissipates and you're like, okay, we're good. This is kind of like that initial turbulence that happens as we are becoming airborne, going from the ground level and then going to a whole nother level of existence up in the air. There's a little bit of turbulence that actually happens that feels very uncomfortable. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there's an indication that anything is wrong. That's just an indication that there is a change in the existence of what things are. There's a change in the reality of where we are, right? So you could have experienced that. You could be experiencing that. Doesn't necessarily mean anything's wrong. This is just the change that's taking place. And it almost, you can consider it like a mini death, not a literal death, but a death of the old you. And so I feel like right now you can interpret yourself as going through some kind of metamorphosis, like a change. A change is happening. It could be everything around you changing. It could be everything inside of you having a major, massive change right now. And you could also consider it kind of like a rite of passage. There's something sacred about this that's happening right now. Coming out in the crown is the Seven of Pentacles as well. Now, again, when we talk about pentacles, we're actually talking about the physical existence. There's something tapping into how we are experiencing things, right? How we are interpreting our experience, or how we need to interpret it. With the Seven of Pentacles, she's actually quite blissful with her pentacles. And again, tapping into the higher self. This is all about a time of seeing things differently. There's some change happening, I feel like, even with your finances, with your health possibly. there's some kind of financial evolution that's happening with the Seven of Pentacles. She's actually appreciating one of her coins. She's holding it very close and just really showing gratitude for the coin and the journey that she's been placed on. It almost feels like she realizes her fortune in her position. She realizes the favor that she has. The Seven of Coins is like being in a position of being able to see what you have poured out. You're able to see that grow and multiply, right? The Seven of Pentacles is all about investing. So being able to see the fruits of what you've done or seeing a return. Now, when we tap into the crown chakra, when we connect that with how we're seeing things and tapping into our higher self, we're also tapping into our ancestry and what we've been left when it comes to material inheritance. You could be experiencing that for whoever you are. You may have some dealings with some type of inheritance that you're dealing with. Are you? That's a question. Did you receive some inheritance? Are you able to take what you've been left and successfully multiply that so that you can continue to pass it down, right? It almost feels like that could be part of the energy. The other part could be about manifesting abundance, being called to do that right now. This is what you have been given to do, manifest abundance right now. And there's something about something being removed with this death, something being removed. It could be the way that we think about money, a mindset, the way that we handle. There's something being removed so that something else can step into the place so that this success with manifesting and multiplying what you have can take place. So this material gain, financial gain, mixed with healing, right? Because pentacles are also about practical health within the body. It could be a mixture of all of that you are manifesting and growing for yourself right now. This is all about having tenacity. I love that word, tenacity, being restraining for the things that need to be done, seeing progress, being able to ponder on what needs to be done and not giving up, just being relentless, and maybe even having many crossroads on the way to where it is that you're going. For whoever you are, I feel like you are most definitely, the Seven of Pentacles says that you are attracting prosperity. You're attracting money. You're attracting growth. And it could be in any way at all, right? Growth is just all over you right now. The question is, what are you going to do with it? And will you be able to retain it? Right? You can grow anything. You can grow hair, right? But can you take care of it as you're growing it? You can grow finances, but how are you going to take care of that so that you can keep it and continue to multiply it? That's what's coming up here. There's something about an old way that's dying through where you are right now as you are being introduced and birthed into new ways of being. Okay? This is what you're learning with where you are right now. This is what's important with where you are right now. There's a time of evolution that's happening for you in your outer world as well as in your inner world. Now, what is the advice that Spirit is giving you concerning this experience that you're having? We have the Temperance coming out and the Ace of Swords. So first of all, the Temperance is all about tempering. It's all about balance. It's all about being able to take two things and allow them to exist effectively together, right? Alchemy is coming up for me. Alchemy. There's something about that with Temperance here. And so Temperance is all about balance. It's about being able to exist on two different planes at the same time. Many times on the original Rider-Waite Temperance card, you'll see the Temperance angel standing with one foot in the water and one foot on land. There's a sense of balance between the emotions, between the spiritual realm and the physical realm, between, the water and the earth, or water and fire. I'm seeing in these cups, there's water in one and then there's fire in the other. So there's some balancing between the emotional experience, what you're learning right now, or what you are being advised, and the advice from spirit is to be able to balance between the excitement of what you are experiencing right now. It could be very passionate, fiery, that tenacious energy we were just talking about, but at the same time, being able to balance your emotions, not being carried away or overwhelmed by the abundance of all these things and these emotions that are happening within you. And so there's something about integrating of opposites, right? We could also look at this as not just water and fire. We can look at it as the elemental, silver and gold, right? The silver represents the subconscious and the gold represents the conscious. Being able to integrate those two, fire and water, being opposite elements, but also a constant flow and the need for balance to attain harmony between the two. That's the alchemy of the experience that spirit is taking you through right now. And so there's a bit of balance that's needed. Also, spirit could be letting you know, do things in moderation. There could be a lot of things that you will experience or you have experienced. Allow yourself to see it in moderation and experience it in moderation. Not too much of this, not too much of that, but know your limits. Know your limits is what spirit could be advising you. Also, temperance taps into the energy of patience. Patience. Spirit is saying be patient and allow things to have their rightful time and to come in at the right time, and be willing to compromise and find solutions. Temperance is all about finding solutions. Be willing to compromise when necessary. Know when to compromise and when not to find solutions, to actually walk in a level of diplomacy, like a high level integrity and cooperation, and just remain balanced. Don't allow yourself to go off the handle, especially when things aren't going or you're not being treated or respected in the way that you might feel like you need to be. You still have to maintain your sense of integrity. You know how many times I wanted to tell people where to go, where to get off, and how to get off? The spirit was like, that's not for you to do. I feel like that's for somebody. Spirit is saying, maintain your sense of balance within your emotions. That's going to be important for where you're going. Okay. There's a sense of harmony here and allowing yourself to be compatible. I do feel like that means, be workable, be able to work with others, know, when to be open and workable as well with temperance. There's a sense of receptivity that's needed here with the temperance, and you being able to be a safe space is what's coming out. Be a safe space for reconciliation to take place, right? When necessary. There's a strong sense of balance represented here with temperance. And when we talk about justice, we're talking about a high level of integrity, integrous energy, and just really being trusted, right? To stand in places of opportunity, in places of power, in places of privilege, being trusted to be able to handle the situation or carry through with what you've been given to do. Temperance is always a beautiful energy for me, just a very lovely, gentle energy when it appears in readings. That's why it's depicted as an angel, right? It also brings an element of healing. Be open and receptive to healing, I feel like is what Spirit is saying here. And then when we have the Ace of Swords, this is all about opening up and being clear. First of all, the aces are all about new beginnings. And when we talk about swords, we're talking about the mindset, right? We're talking about new ways of seeing things, being open to receive new information and strength and a sense of fortitude, of inner power, showing that you have the ability to overcome adversity and still maintain your integrity and your authenticity as well. This Ace of Swords is actually a card that announces a sense of victory and success and triumph with whatever it is that you set out to do. Okay, so Spirit is letting you know what you have the capacity to carry through and be victorious in whatever it is that you set out to do. A sense of clarity with that. This is a very powerful card. When the Ace of Swords appears, it's talking about victory and triumph, being able to overcome anything. But in order to do that, Spirit is saying you have to have and understand that you have at your possession a great amount of inner resources and inner fortitude and inner strength and clarity of thought at your disposal. And when you are open to use that, what you have, you will be successful. And so Spirit is saying, be open to realize what you have as you enter into this next part of your journey, and nothing will be beyond you. Nothing will be impossible. Okay. This is a beautiful message for whoever it's for. Doesn't matter if you're feminine or masculine. Take the energy without having to put a stamp of gender on it. If it resonates, take it, run with it, allow it to be encouraging and let you know that you are on the right path. Take any advice that you receive from the message and, allow it to help you along the way, or even allow you to embellish upon your experience to know what's happening right now. My name is Letty. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take care of yourself, and thank you for stopping by to Blood Moon Oracle, coming just for you. And until next time, I'll see you. Name's Leticia. Bye.